Hello and welcome to BBC Sports Africa Back to Base. I'm Janine Anthony. So here's what's on the menu for you this week. A year after an undercover investigation exposed corruption in African football, we follow up on what's happened since.
Never again in our history should we have people killing journalists, because journalism is not a crime.
We race over to East Africa, where Kenyan world champion Helen Obiri explains the secret of her success. From east to west, where Togo's Abdulraouf Akanga tells us why his bike is his wife. Backyard gyms and building bodies, we find out how the fitness bug in Ghana is inspiring unusual gyms.
We get the scraps from the scrap shops and we put something together.
And get the chance to pitch your weeds against this week's hopeful to become our armchair expert. Welcome to BBC Sports Africa, your #1 program that scours the African continent to give you the very best of sports in Africa. I'm Janine Anthony and I'm happy to be back to base here in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, in 2018, BBC Africa Eye released Betraying the Game, an undercover investigation. Now, the documentary caught on camera over 100 officials accepting cash in a sting operation. Now, the BBC went to meet the man behind the expose, Ghanaian journalist Anas Arameyao Anas, to talk to him about what's happened to both football and investigative journalism since.
In 2018, BBC Africa Eye's expose, Betraying the Game, revealed the extraordinary scale of corruption in African football. The investigation was led by Anas Arameyao Anas, a high-profile and controversial Ghanaian journalist. An undercover specialist, he never shows his face. Almost 100 match officials were caught on camera taking bribes. The main targets were Ghanaian referees and assistant referees with the power to change the course of matches. But the corruption went higher, to FIFA's #2 in African football, Kwesi Nyantakyi, president of the Ghanaian game. Out of the public eye, Nyantakyi accepted a cash gift of $65,000 in direct contravention of FIFA's bribery rules. Within days of the expose's first screening, Ghana's Football Association and League suspended operations. FIFA suspended GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi. The Referee Association of Ghana suspended 74 of its match officials, with the Confederation of African Football sanctioning a further 22. In September 2018, a committee was set up to reform football administration in Ghana and across Africa. Bringing down such a powerful institution and its leaders created enemies for Anas and his team.
Fire everywhere. People were fighting for their lives. Because it was either they go down or I go down.
Using live television, politician Kennedy Agyapong revealed the face of Anas's lead undercover operator, Ahmed Hussein Suale.
Good. Ayinini. Boy, no. Ahmed. Woni. We a friend Ahmed. The picture back home fan to Sunayakes. God, good. Boy, we are very dangerous. What in Madina here?
We knew we were in some sort of danger, and we took a lot of precautions to prevent it. But it did happen. And he died. Ahmed was shot 3 times. 1 is in his neck and 2 in his heart. I think that betraying the game is what led to Ahmed's death.
The assassination of Ahmed, a father of 2, in January 2019 made news worldwide. No one has been charged with his murder. For Anas, the battle lines have been drawn between journalism and power.
We need to make a statement that never again in our history should we have people killing journalists. Because journalism is not a crime. You see, what this murder does to us is to remind us, don't take your freedom of expression for granted.
Now, recent developments into the Confederation of African Football suggest that all is not well with football administration on the continent. After a series of scandals, FIFA decided to wade into the crisis by appointing its General Secretary, Fatma Samora, to become the FIFA General Delegate in a bid to, improve governance of football on the continent. Now, I'm here with sports journalist Tolu Olorumotani, who speaks with me more on this topic. Now, Anasi's revelations was really big. Do you think that has had any effect on football administration on the continent?
Yes, most definitely. First things first, it helps put corruption away from the sports to a large extent. Now people are a lot more conscious of what they do. People are a lot more careful with the kind of dealings they get involved with, because they know that someone might just be watching.
Exactly.
The way Anas came at everyone was a shocker.
What do you make of FIFA, the extent it's gone into administration, that FIFA has to wait in? What do you make that FIFA has to?
I think it's an embarrassment. We are a body of 54 nations, and we should be able to take care of our own issues, right? But at the moment, we can't, and that is why FIFA has stepped in. There's a lot of things going wrong, allegations flying left, right, and center, and it leaves a lot of, nasty taste in the mouth. It doesn't happen with other confederations across the world.
So you feel it's not reflecting well?
It isn't really. What we should be doing is cleaning up our mess ourselves. If FIFA has to come in, it shows that we are a body that can't really solve our own problems internally, and that doesn't rub on well on the confederation.
And finally, would you like to see this Anas-style reporting take place in Nigeria?
Of course, they say there's no smoke without fire. So unless there's something going on somewhere, I do not think there is a need. But of course, if anyone wants to, yes, why not? I think we'll welcome it, because then it will shed some light on things that we don't even know is currently happening.
Good thought from Tolu. They would leave the state of football administration and move to athletics. It's just 2 months to the World Championships in Qatar, and Kenyan star Helen Obiri is looking to keep her crown in the 5,000 meters, a crown she won just shortly after becoming a mother. Celestine Karuna spoke with her about her success.
Just tell us about the World Cross Country Championships. It must have been a very special moment, winning that gold medal in Denmark.
For me, it was a tough course I have to do. I trained for it and I was prepared well. So I think training here in Ngong Hills, it helped me a lot, because as you can see, we did like mountain land, and of which it helped me to do well.
Now you have an indoor title, an outdoor title, a World Cross Country title. Which one is the best? Which one do you consider your best achievement?
I think I can say it's all my best achievements, because as you can see, World Cross Countries are a big achievement, and the World Championships. So I don't think there's any I can handle it.
Okay, which is the hardest?
The hardest I can say it's the World Cross Country, because it was my first time to do cross country, and I think it was tough.
Tell us about your transition from middle distances to long distance, because it looks like when you move from 800 to 1,500 meters into the 5,000 meters is when you now found your niche and your success.
It was a bit challenging, changing from 800 to 5,000, but it's all about training and the focus, because as you can see, when you train like 800 in Kenya, maybe it was a bit difficult for me, and for 1,500 it's a lot of speed. So I decided maybe I can just do another longer distance. So I tried to do 5,000, because it's like a bit, when you go to cross country, you build up, you do something good. So I think for me, the best event now I can say it's 5,000.
But 5,000 came after you got your baby?
Yeah, 2016. Actually, I went off like 1 year, 2015, the whole of 2015. So when I came back, I say, oh no, I couldn't land 1,500, because it's like a little bit. I didn't have speed, and 1,500, all it needs is about speed. So I decided maybe I can do 5,000 because 5,000, as you can see, there's a lot of speed. It's about endurance. So that's made me to switch from 1,500 to 5,000.
So what motivates you? What makes you wake up every day and say, I am going for that training, I am going for that gold medal?
You know, when you are on leave, you used to sleep, you used to do everything. So I think when you come from a maternity leave, you need to focus. Maybe you can just say, if I continue sleeping, maybe my baby cannot live well, maybe my family cannot live well. So it's a bit challenging. Maybe you can just say that if I cannot work hard, maybe I cannot get something I want in my family.
So how do you move from the high of a World Cross Country Championship to now shift focus into purely track running, because you have a title to defend in 5,000 meters this year?
What I can say, cross country helped me a lot to maybe to do something, to have endurance. So for now, I'm just doing my training to focus in World Championships. Maybe in Diamond Leagues, I can just do like 2 to 3 Diamond Leagues. From there, I focus in Diamond League to retain my title. So
you've not had time to celebrate the hardest race you have ever run?
I don't have time. Maybe, you know, when you get pregnant and you celebrate, maybe you cannot do what you want to do. So for me, I just kept how to hold until maybe October, because I have so many championships to come.
For you, what do you see? We see all this success, but I'm sure there is just that one thing that sometimes you feel like you struggle with as an athlete. What is it?
For me, I don't think there's any.
So you're perfect.
Yeah.
We wish Helen Obiri all the very best. And that's the end of part 1. When we return for part 2, we're meeting an unsung hero of Togolese cycling right here on Sport Africa from the BBC. Welcome back to BBC Sport Africa. I'm Janine Anthony. Now, I've been trying to get into a proper workout routine, which means I'd have to sign up at a gym. But all the gyms have been quite far off, so it means that I've had to end up working out in Lagos traffic. And that's a tale for another day. With the high cost of gym memberships, you can understand why I and some others haven't gotten around to it, a problem plaguing fitness enthusiasts across Africa. But I've got good news from Ghana. Gyms are sprouting all across the country. Since they couldn't forge their own iron jungle, they decided to build theirs out of concrete.
Concrete blocks and makeshift benches may not be the first thing that comes to mind when thinking of bodybuilding.
However, Ghana's backyard gyms are gaining momentum, breeding a new pack of athletes hungry to take their training to the next level.
Whilst their following may be relatively small, easy access and low cost has seen a growing demand for these makeshift muscle factories. One gym that has seen some of Ghana's most famed bodybuilders is Conan Gym, based in the eastern region of Ghana in Akropong.
I started by 8 years because I like exercise and gym. I go some place and I saw how to do bench and dumbbells. These dumbbells, I use cement, sand and gravels. I make plastic mold and I put it inside to make these dumbbells.
Collins Nyako is an amateur bodybuilder who's been training for the past 4 years and put me through my paces.
I choose to come to the Conan Gym here in Akropong, though it's an hour journey to get here because of virtually no cost of training. Some other reasons that keeps me coming here: the weather, being a forest zone, you have this chilled air blowing all day. And again, there is that sense of belongingness. Anytime I come here, they really receive me as one of their own, and that makes me really happy.
These gyms bring in a variety of individuals from all ages with one goal in mind: to be the best version of themselves.
I don't think age is a matter. For instance, I can skip 1 hour non-stop, doing about 11,000 skips. And I don't think anybody here can do that. I want to get to be the oldest person there. I want to be 150 years before I die. Right now, I'm almost 45 years.
For those serious about their gains, they take it even further.
It's not just about lifting, it's also about eating more frequently and eating good foods as well. A bodybuilder in Ghana, if you're really trying to build body, I don't see where you are going to spend less than 1,000 cedis on your food every single month.
These gyms come with their own challenges.
Some of the challenges about this type of gyms is, first, you are limited when it comes to equipment. For instance, it's really difficult to train like your calves in a gym like this because you don't have any equipment for it. And the other challenge is the issue of safety. It requires you to be more careful, to be more intuitive to what you're doing, because you can easily get hurt.
And the fitness craze is on the rise. From working out to the gym gear, the fitness industry has the potential for rapid growth on the continent. Whilst workouts are enjoyed on the beach in Senegal, in South Africa, the fitness market is dominated by big groups. According to The Economist, South Africans spend $900 million annually on gym memberships. In Ghana, the average price of a gym membership can cost up to $100 a month in the Accra region. Meanwhile, these outdoor training grounds can cost $2 a month.
For some, bodybuilding is just about working out, keeping fit and hanging out with their friends. But for some, they are making a living from it, even under the rain.
Ernest Danso Akwamwa is a personal trainer who's trained some of Ghana's most well-known bodybuilders, including many of last year's winners from the Arnold Classic Africa competition.
When I got back from Bahrain, in Bahrain I was working as a club bouncer. Here I wanted to train in Ghana. From where I am to where I can get any gym is so far. So I needed to set up something on my own. And interestingly, guys came from other places and they all get involved. Kudos to them, their effort. We got champions out of it. Come rain or shine, we still have to work under this condition.
Ernest explains how he set up his own backyard gym.
I literally have to go to the water and give them dimensions and a sketch on how I want them to be fixed. And yeah, we come up with things like this. That is how we get our equipment. We get the scraps from the scrap shops and yeah, we put something together.
Backyard gyms have become a cost-effective way for bodybuilders and amateurs alike to keep fit, and there seems no sign of it slowing down. These will continue to keep Ghanaians fit for years to come.
What an intriguing report on fitness. And I'm still here with Tolu Olorumoteni. I would love to. We are definitely going to bond over a huge staple in Nigeria since we're talking fitness, and this is really rich in minerals and, of course, vitamins. Now, Tolu, speaking of backyard gyms, did you ever use one?
Oh, yes, I did, a lot of times. I remember when I was in school.
I mean, you could pass for Mr. Olympia now.
Maybe not necessarily, yeah. But when I was in school as an undergraduate in the university, that was the norm. You know, even before you think of registering in the school gym, the first thing for every hostel or every off-campus accommodation is for the boys to get some, you know, cement, sand, water, and then make one, you know, by ourselves. It was nice. Of course, it had its own negatives, but it was nice. And every other boy was always interested in coming to, you know, use the gym once in a while. It was fun, really fun.
Do you think the fitness industry and society can embrace this backyard gyms?
Oh, well, to a large extent, I think it's a minute competition, sort of, because then the gyms and the health centers equally have to make some money. And when people use more of the backyard gyms, it means that lesser number of people will come to patronize them, and they need money from membership fees and all of that. So maybe not necessarily they would rather want people to come use the gyms, and I'll equally recommend that because the backyard gyms are usually not properly weighted. You know, one is always heavier than the other, which can leave you quite unbalanced, which is not the result you actually want. Anyway, in the long run, it's good. It's a good thing that we have adopted it in Africa. It's a good thing that more people now pay attention to it, because aside from the fact that, like I said earlier, it makes you look good, it's equally good that everyone is physically fit.
Now, Abdurrauf Akanga is one of the best-known international cyclists from Togo. He's recently launched his non-profit organizations that seek to develop and promote cycling amongst young people and also their foray and their educational ambitions.
My bike is a part of my life. My bike is like my wife, and I'm always saying that I am married to my bike. I'm Abdurrauf Akanga, Togolese bike rider. The first race of my life, I won the race. I was 21, and I think it was a record, being the youngest to win the national championship. And then after that, I won a stage in Tour du Benin. I was the yellow jersey, and I am the first ever Togolese to be in the top 5 of a UCI race, and it happened in Burkina Faso. And also I am the first Togolese to be in the top 10 of a race in Europe. My roots are in Parliament, so for me it is the perfect place to be. Pic d'Agou for me is a great, so like if you are a cyclist, so I think you in Togo, living in Togo, you should try to climb it. Parliament Cycling Project is a non-profit organization aiming to develop cycling and also to support young people for their schools. So we have a cycling center, we have bikes, we donate to kids, we train them to be cyclists, and besides this, we are obliging them to get good results in school. The next challenges will be, first of all, for me, I would like to ride my bike from Sekanse, the last city in the top of Togo, to Lomé at the bottom. It will be like 600 kilometers. I would like to do it to raise some funds for Parliament Cycling Project.
My name is Silvanos, and I'm a Chelsea fan. I started supporting Chelsea in 2004, and I can proudly say since then we've become the most successful English team. My favorite player is Fernando Torres. My favorite sporting moment was the 2012 FIFA Champions League final when Chelsea won her first Champions League final. And I really can't wait for us to win another one. I hope it's very soon.
Silvanos, your time starts now. Who are the 2018-2019 NBA champions?
Cleveland.
Toronto Raptors. At his unveiling as Juventus manager, Maurizio Sarri, when asked, said he has given up smoking. True or false?
False.
Correct. Who hosted the 2018 Africa Women's Cup of Nations?
South Africa.
Ghana. Which country's national rugby team are called the All Blacks?
Pass.
New Zealand. Which two teams compete in Italy's Turin Derby?
Juventus and Torino.
Correct. Who holds the record for the most Champions League appearances, Xavi or Iker Casillas?
Iker Casillas.
Correct. Who was the highest goal scorer in the 2018-2019 Serie A season?
Quagliarella.
Correct. New Tottenham recruit Tanguy Ndombele is of African descent. True or false?
True.
Correct. How many points did Bayern Munich win in the record-breaking 2012-2013 season? 91 or 95?
95.
Wrong, 91. What city will host the next Olympics?
Pass.
Tokyo. And that's where your time stopped, Silvanos. You scored 5 out of 10. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel good. I wanted 10 over 10, though. But I'll try again next time.
Oh, Silvanos, you seem not to be too happy with your score. But let's see how your score fits in our all-new Armchair Expert leaderboard. And on that note, we've come to the end of BBC Sport Africa for this week. But don't forget to get in touch with us on anything you've seen in the show via Facebook or Twitter. You can head over to our BBC Sport Africa website where you can catch and watch some of these pieces again. I want to say a big thank you to my guest, Tolu Olorunmotani, for being amazing as usual, and to you for keeping it locked with us. I'm Janine Anthony saying sign out, and I'll see you next week. I'm scoring this. Woo! That was wrong.